Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. And watch this. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. And here you found the goodest good possible, the greatest show about happiness, joy on the internet. Finding happiness and joy with Edwin and Barry. There is no greater show on earth. Welcome. Get ready. Buckle up because you're about to find happiness and joy. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. We have good in abundance. Here you are, tuned in purposely to listen to Edwin and Barry, finding happiness and joy. I have a technical glitch. 1 second. Please ask Rick to do so. Okay. Technical issues. Isn't it wonderful? Glitches in the age of instantaneous communication. And yet things go awry. So I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, he was bemoaning the state of the world and war and despair and destruction and all kinds of things. And I'm saying to him, okay, isn't that the way of the world for all time? Hello. And I said, my vision of the world is a combination of two television shows that I saw when I was growing up. One is called The Jetsons, Jetsons, Jetsons. If you're not familiar with it, look it up and you'll find it a little entertaining. And the other was called The Flintstones. So The Flintstones is all about people living in the time of the cave people. That's what we call them. Instead of calling cavemen, cave women, cave people. And it's, you have those two images together. The Jetsons are one is what the world would look like in 100 years. Now, remember, this was the 1960s or 70s when it was being shown and such, and people flying around in instant communications, much like today. And yet the Flintstones were there, and it was cave people, right? Running in a car with stone wheels and people using their feet to power it. It was just, but what was the difference? So I said to my friend, it's the difference between human nature, which is still in the cave period, and technology. I mean, we can do so much. It's amazing what a phone, well, people call it a smartphone. I don't, but let's call it what they call it, a smartphone, a communications device. There is as much or more power in that communication device or the ability to connect with it than any computer when I was growing up. And that was too long ago, even by the year 2000, probably even by the year 2010. Now, we're in the year 2023 chronologically, and we're at the very tail end. This is the first day of winter in the year 2023, December 21st. So whether this show is going to be seen now by people around the world or in a year or 2 years, 5 years, 100 years from now, things won't have changed much in the human condition because the human nature doesn't change. Technology swirling around certainly will be changing. Who knows what energy will look like? Who knows what currencies will look like? Who knows what food will look like? But we do know what people will look like. People will still look like we do today. Maybe people will be slimmer. That would be nice, right? Because there is a raging obesity, certainly in the first world. But maybe people will be different physiologically. But from a psychological point of view and a spiritual point of view, people will be no different. The human nature is unchangeable unless, there's a caveat, unless one decides to modify that nature. Example, a lot of people, myself included, when I was growing up as a young man, I had a period of time where I was, for want of a better term, angry. Now, it doesn't mean I walk around with a scowl on my face all the time. That was never me. But there was a period where I was easily touched off by other people, or I was put out by other people, and I was angry. It didn't take much to make me upset. And I'll tell you what makes me happy, though. What makes me really happy is when I can say hello to one of my dear friends, one of the greatest forces of good in the world, the chief happiness officer of the world, Edwin. Please, Edwin, tell us that we not only can see you, we can hear you. Let me see. Edwin, I see you, but I can't. Are you able to hear me? Okay, he's still toggling. Again, this is technology. But you'll notice something about Edwin. If you're watching this, he's not going to get upset. He's not going to get angry. We've had these glitches before. We don't know why they happen, but they do. But the real key of life is, what do you do for you to make sure that you become the best you? And that's why you have using your most valuable asset, not your tens of millions of dollars or your billions or even $100. It's your time. You've used your time, invested wisely to tune into Edwin and Barry, happiness and joy, and how you can increase that in your life. So I'm going to ask one more time. Edwin, can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, I see your lips moving. I see your smiling face, your bright eyes, but we don't hear you. So why don't you go out and come back in and see if you can toggle something? Again, we've had this happen before. So as a picture, I would urge everybody, I'm going to try, maybe I'll put it up next time. It's the Jetsons and the Flintstones right next to each other. The Jetsons are everything that's happening in the world of technology, making things faster, better, cheaper. And in the world of human nature, it's up to each individual one of us to decide. You see, it's the key is using your mind to decide how you want to be in life. Do you want to be expansive? Do you want to be giving? Do you want to be filled with joy and happiness and peace and love? It's a choice. It doesn't happen by chance. It's a choice. So today's show is all about the word hope. Now, hope is a wonderful acronym that stands for helping others progress every day. You hear that word? The O word is really the key, others. Because when we reach out to others and we do something that can benefit another human being, whether it be something as simple as a smile, it may be that some money is involved. It may be helping people with a meal. It may be certainly a wonderful word of, did I tell you today how much I appreciate you? Something that touches another being brings about a shift in perspective. Now, again, I've been working with people for more than 42 years. Actually, I was really looking at it the other day. It's actually more than 52 years. I'm 75 chronologically, and I've been working with people since the age of 22, 23. So more than half a century. And I can tell you that 97.2% of all people I begin working with initially drop the F and shift, and the other stuff happens. You have to be effing careful with your Fs. You want to shift your perspective just a little bit. And when you do that, you can see better. You can create the kind of world you want to live in. Create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. There are two parts to the human condition that are essential to understand. And they are what I call the giving muscle and the receiving muscle. One must learn, teach oneself how to willingly give and graciously receive. A lot of people know how to give. Learning to give willingly is the key. See, if one has to think about, I'm going to give to so-and-so, you have to think about it. That means that you're really trading. You're not giving. You're doing it for a purpose in mind, to gain a leverage, to gain something. So if you have to think about the giving, okay, it's still giving, but you should know that that is really trading. What you want to do is to create for yourself the ability to willingly give, and then graciously receive. Receiving graciously is truly a skill, and a skill, as our dear friend Edwin teaches us all the time, it can be learned. That's a definition of a skill, isn't it? It may not be inherent in your being, but you can learn it. So any skill can be learned. And the more you practice a skill, the better you'll be. Now we're going to do it one more time. And we're welcoming now in our world, our dynamic, wonderful, beloved, exciting, energetic, uplifting Edwin.
Hey, happiness of joy, ambassador of joy is in the house, and it shall be joy upon you. Compliment of the season, my friend, and to everybody around the world. Definitely, we are excited and we are hopeful. Thank you so much.
Oh, there he goes. He intuits what needs to be discussed today. Today, our theme is called Hope, wonderful Edwin. And I mentioned to people the acronym for HOPE stands for helping others progress every day. So I'm going to pass to you, my dear beloved friend, and tell us, how does hope leverage being happy?
Oh, wow. Actually, let me put it this way. It's very, very difficult to be happy without hope. Okay, okay. I mean, without hope, it's difficult. It's kind of like sucking the oxygen out of life when you have no hope. Okay, you suck the oxygen out. So hope really is simply saying that whatever it is, the future is going to be good. We're assuming, because Barry, I'm working on a book, right? And one of the chapter in the book is the power of assumption. Okay, we'll talk about that another time. But the reason I'm touching that right now is just as we cannot function without making assumptions. Hope is the ultimate assumption. when you as a farmer goes out and plant a cup of corn, okay, a cup of corn, just one small tiny cup of corn as a farmer, and you plant it and you take the time to clear the weed around that cup of corn, and you take the time to water it, and you do all these things because you hope that that cup of corn will grow into a bushel of corn. That's the power of hope. That's hope that things are going to get better. You may not have any real reason, but you just hope that it will get better, and that brings about happiness. Yes. I love this. I love this. This is powerful.
Well, so I want to unpack something that you mentioned here, because it's truly positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, which is the essence of Edwin. The ability to plant seeds. Let's call it planting seeds of goodness.
Yes.
And harvesting a bounty of happiness and joy.
That's correct.
And here's where I think it gets really wonderful, Edwin. If you plant corn, you're going to get corn. You're not going to get roses. You're not going to get thistles. You're not going to get thorns. You're going to get corn.
Yes, and Mother Nature will not play games on you. It doesn't play trick,
Right. So here's what I think you're saying. If you plant seeds of goodness, you know what you're going to harvest? And again, you have to clear the weeds, as he said. You have to cultivate the earth. You have to have the right fertilizer. There's a lot of things that takes work. You don't just put the seed in the ground. You need to nourish and nurture and understand what's going on and be careful and cognizant. You do that stuff, and guess what's going to happen? You will succeed. You will have a bushel of corn, because when a corn seed stalk grows, it doesn't produce one other piece of corn. It produces hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seeds on one stalk.
Yes,
that's the genius of what you're talking about, right? Hope,
yes,
we say in English, hope springs eternal. And I think what that spring is not just a spring like a spring that bounces up and down. I'm thinking of the spring of water that nourishes, that's always moving forward, always giving people wonderful, thirst quenching life affirming water.
Yes. And my friend, the ambassador of joy, if I may say, you don't just go and say you plant a cup of corn and then you go away, just leave. And and you just leave. And maybe maybe they come and need water, who cares, Maybe the weed comes in and try to grab the corn as it's just so coming off the soil. Who cares? No, 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 no. It doesn't work like that. You got to understand that for that one small tiny cup of seed to grow into a bushel that not only enough for you and your family to eat, but you can give to other people in your community and around the world, you have to nourish it. You have to put that water in. You have to clear that weed off of it. You have to come in, and maybe even the bird from the sky might be flying towards that corn as it's starting to get off the ground, and you may have to, but when you've done all of that, you don't have to worry. Let the
Wow.
universe
Wait a minute. I love it. You don't have to worry. On that wonderful note, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go away. There's more wonderful Edwin and Barry on the other side of this break. Don't go away. You'll be right back. You're going to love it. Good day, everybody. Oh, something special for you. Amazing. Sometimes a great notion comes into the world and causes a shift that benefits everyone. Isn't that wonderful? Everyone benefits. This time it's called Einstein Cares. That's right, like Albert Einstein. EinsteinCares.com. EinsteinCares. EinsteinCares.com. Go there and sign up to be aware of when the site launches. Because guess what this site is all about? Its mission is to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The mission is to give $1 billion to charity without costing any giver a penny. And it's based upon something everybody loves to do. Shop, have fun, give money at no cost. Go to EinsteinCares.com. That's EinsteinCares.com and register now so that when the site launches, you will be amongst the first to know about it. So you can shop, earn money, and give money at no cost. What a wonderful world to even be thinking about these things. EinsteinCares.com. Do it today. You'll thank me, and you know you love thanking me. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. You found good. You tuned in purposely because you want to learn more about happiness and joy. And we have the Chief Happiness Officer, Edwin Edebiri, and your humble host, Barry Shore, the Ambassador of Joy. And we're talking about how hope is an essential aspect of learning how to gain greater happiness, how to learn how to gain greater joy in life. So Edwin was telling us about the power of assumption. And I love this idea of planting the cup of corn and harvesting a crop, doing the work that's necessary, weeding out, watering, caring for, nurturing, singing and dancing while the corn is going, because the result can be not only feeding your family, I love what he said here, but giving to others. When you can give to others, now you're making a difference in the world. Because once you go outside of yourself, now you are literally becoming a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. So let's continue more in this realm of hope and how it makes happiness not just better, easier, but more fun.
Yes, yeah. Now, I was just listening to the commercial, during the break, and listening to EinsteinCare.com. And the thing that it reminds me of is hope is about being passionate about a purpose. When you have a purpose that you are passionate about, it's almost like you are electrified. You can't wait to wake up. I mean, everyone feels that from time to time, like maybe children is on Christmas Eve and they can't wait till Christmas Day, because that's what their purpose is. No, folks, as a grown up, as an adult, find a purpose that you're truly passionate about. It brings about hope. And guess what? It brings about happiness. Okay, you're just gonna be happy. So when people are listening to us now, they think, okay, wait a second, how is this hope stuff anyway? Just find something you are passionate about, and you'll see that you've ignite hope in your life. And
So
that
I want to unpack something here, and the reason is because the people do tune into us because they know we discuss on this show the three fundamentals of life. The three fundamentals are: number one, your life has purpose, just as
yes,
Edwin is saying. If you lead a purpose-driven life, you'll go mad, you'll make a difference. And the third is to unlock the power and the sequence of everyday words and terms, like we just said: hope, helping others progress every day. I want to make mention there is to be passionate about something, about a cause, if it's a cause that creates death and destruction, it's not a purposeful cause. Yeah, you may have a purpose, you may have a passion, but going out and hurting and harming others, that is the root of evil.
yes,
The root of evil lies in that direction. The root of goodness, of happiness and joy lies in the ability to serve others for working together to create greater harmony and peace and love in the world. If one's purpose in life is to go out and cause harm,
no,
because you think, oh my gosh, that's the other religion, we don't like them, or the other people. No.
no,
Then you're not living in happiness and joy. You may think you are, you may have a purpose, but you'll be angry. You'll be constricted consciousness. So I just want to make mention that here we are in the season, as you mentioned. This is the first day of winter. We're in the season of joy and happiness and being filled with love and consideration for people of goodwill to people of goodwill. So I want to make sure that we understand that distinction, wonderful Edwin, and that the passion shouldn't run wild just because you think it's a good cause. And now we're going to go on the Golden Gate Bridge and block traffic and not allow people to go either to work, or in one case, what happened the other day, people were blocking traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge, and there was an ambulance that was trying to deliver organs for transplants.
wow,
They couldn't get through because people were blocking,
yeah,
and one of the operations had to be delayed. Now, at the moment, nobody died. However, the people blocking that were not considering other people. They were considering, hey, this is our cause, my cause, my cause. It's joy and happiness, peace and love. If it's not rooted in that, I'm saying this, everyone doesn't have to agree. I'm saying this, it's off. It's off. It's off. And you're on the wrong highway. You want to be planting seeds of righteousness. You want to harvest the bounty of salvation for everyone.
yeah.
You want
No,
everyone.
I agree with that 100%. 100%. It has to be that is the seed of goodness. You cannot plant that cup of corn with the intention that, okay, I'm going to turn it into ammunition because now I have a bundle of corn. No, you have to plant that cup of corn with the intention of turning into feeding the people, feeding the humanity, and growing with it, And if in Ambassador of Joy, I know this is why we are brother from different mother, the key here is that we have to continue to push this message, and it does not matter what an individual think is the reason, because sometimes we can convince ourselves and think that we have a really good reason why we're turning it into harming other people. No matter how good that reason is, if the end cause is still harming other people, it's still terrible. It will still come back to you, because that's the way the universe works. It goes back, it comes around, it comes around. So we have to find a way to be able to put a stop somewhere to say, okay, you know what? This person hurt me. I could go hurt them back, and then they might come back and hurt me some more. And somebody have to be able to say, okay, no, we got to put a stop onto this thing, and find a way, folks, to really grow hope in everyone that the future will be better. That's
Grow hope in it. Edwin, I love you. And I'm going to make mention of something very specific here. Edwin is born in a country that is very divided in terms of religion. The United States of America is not divided by religion, although you could say that today because it's a religion called leftism. Leave that aside. It's a crazy play. But there's a division in America today that didn't exist when I was growing up. But where Edwin comes from, Nigeria, talking about a country of what, over 200 million people now, right?
That's correct.
And two major religions, Christianity and Islam.
Yes.
And for the most part, I'm stating it, but I'm asking, for the most part, people get along. Now, they tend to live in their own enclaves, not that much mixing, but there is enough relationship that you can have a functional country. However, there are groups of people, specifically today, radical Islamists, who are oriented to hurting and killing Christians. I mean, that's what they do.
Right.
And it's a pity because it sometimes pulls the country apart. And you're seeing the same thing here in America at this very moment, pulling the country apart because people are chanting this, kill them, or get this, and that is not hope. So we are hope planters. We're people that and this is not saying, oh, gee, it's easy for you guys because you're rich and famous and handsome and all that sort of stuff. Hello, we're a human. We go through struggles.
Yes.
But we're
and one thing that I would just add, Barry, is that anything that's taken to the extreme becomes bad on both sides. You mentioned Nigeria. I know a lot of Christians that marry Muslim, and vice versa, okay? Or you look at tribal, you have an Igbo person married to a Yoruba woman, or a Yoruba woman married to a Hausa man, and it's all over. There's a ton of examples. I think where we start to get into trouble is when mostly people with ulterior motive, okay, taking advantage of a religion. And we've seen it in Christian fanatic also, just like we have Islamic fanatic. It always comes down to people who have ulterior motive, taking advantage of innocent people and using these people and rallying them up to do stuff that they may not have done by themselves because they don't really care. They care about the other person just like they care about themselves. And that's what, for me, I think the biggest hope spreading is to get to the leadership, to get to these people that have this power to say, hey, you know what? Let's rethink this whole thing. Because it's not the average person. It's not the average person on the street you and I come across. That's this. Although they can be used. But we have to get to a point where we really look at each other as human beings first. And that's where the hope is about.
And that's why thousands and thousands of you are tuning in to Edwin and Barry, Happiness and Joy. Now, it's the first and third Thursday of every month. Yes. Now, it's usually at 8:30 in the a.m. Today was 10:30 in the a.m. Pacific. Unusual, but it's the first and third Thursday of every month for the rest of your life. Bookmark this. Share this with 5 people. Go and sell out and say and rate the podcast how wonderful it is. 5 people. That's it. We're not asking for 50 or 100. You want to do that? It's up to you. 5 people. And make sure that you bring your family and friends because this makes a difference for you. It's all about you becoming the best you possible and hope springs eternal, helping others progress every day, as you heard from my dear friend. So we're going to do 2 things.
And just before we close out, Barry, I just want to add this. If you're listening to us right now and you are hopeful, make it a point to do something to help another individual to become hopeful. That's all. Just help one person to become hopeful. So if you're talking to someone that you feel like, wow, this person doesn't have hope and they're starting to give up on life, you do what you can to help them, inspire hope in them. And if one person inspires another person, we can get hope back in the world.
And on that, we're going to do a hopeful hug. Hug and then a blessing. Hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of three, wonderful Edwin. 1, 2, 3. And our blessing from Edwin Edebiri is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. And here you found the goodest good possible, the greatest show about happiness, joy on the internet. Finding happiness and joy with Edwin and Barry. There is no greater show on earth. Welcome. Get ready. Buckle up.